Right, so I've got a replacement head drum that I'm going to try on this, and what I've done is I've moved the optocoupler out of the way, and now I need to remove the head drum. So you're probably thinking, well, how on earth do you do that? Well, this is where it gets a bit weird, because you put some needle nose pliers over this exposed thread and then turn it like so a couple of turns, then off comes the head drum. So all I need to do now is just put the other one on and then just give this a quick test and see if it makes any difference. So I'll just put this one safely somewhere, and then we'll put the other one back in and then tighten that much in the same way. Rather unusual. Didn't realise it would be quite that easy. Right, so here's the replacement head. I'm not sure if this is new or not. It was advertised as new old stock, but I'm not 100% convinced. But it may be that it is a good working example. So I'll just open that. There we go. There's the head there, or head drum. And in fairness, it does look quite a bit better than this one. So we'll take this, pop this on here, there we go. And now we will tighten it down. So what we'll do is we'll use the needle nose pliers again, and then grab that and then spin it this way. There we go. There you go, that's not going anywhere. And then put the optocoupler back in place, just make sure that those wires are still connected, and they are actually connected and soldered together. So this little circuit board should have a connector on it, but at some point that's snapped off, so I've had to repair it, let's say. So that should go like that. Then you've got a single flat blade screw into there. And tighten that down. And there we go. Make sure that spins freely, which it does. Now, let's see what happens when we put a tape in and connect it up to a TV set. Right, so we're plugged in, powered on. There we go. Hitting play generates a test signal, or it should. So let's put on the test set, which I'm using this little Amstrad CTV 1400 today. So let's have a look. Program 1. Let's go down on the tune. Actually, there it has a signal. There we go. Let's stop that. Let's go back. Okay, that's a good solid signal. Store. Right. Right, do I have a Video 2000 cassette that isn't snapped and might actually work? Because I had a problem with that deck previously, where it would literally snap cassettes. It would go into fast forward mode or rewind. It would not detect the end of the cassette and it would just snap the cassette, literally sort of clean off. I think that might be one of the snapped ones. Let's have a look. Oops. Let's try fast forwarding it. Actually, it looks like both reels are turning, so that's something. Let's see what this does. That's a lot better than it was previously. I wasn't getting anything previously, so let's go back the tuner. Alright, there's still a slight tape path issue. As you can hear it chewing the tape slightly, but that is 100 times better than it was. So let's hit play again. Let's pause it. Put the volume up quite a bit. Oh, wrong one. Let's play again.
Small towns you never heard of. Alaska, Tennessee, Miami, Mississippi, Death Valley,
Yeah, there's a back tension issue now, so that's the next thing I'm going to look at. But that is about 500 times better than it was, and that's just by replacing the head. So I'm really pleased. That is a big step forward for this deck. Now we just need to work on that back tension issue. Anyway, that's a very quick update on this deck, which you've not seen for a very, very long time. Thank you very much for watching. Right, I replaced the head drum on this with my supposed new head drum, and watch this. Sorry, ignore the crinkle noise, because we still got a back tension issue, but watch this. It's kind of displaying a picture. So I think personally this deck is viable. After the multitude of repairs that I've done on it and we did on it the other day, I think this is now a viable deck. Just need to resolve that back tension issue. But that's way better than it was. Way, way, way better. Sounds a bit dead, but that's probably the back tension issue. So since last seeing this deck, which has lived under there for a few years now, what have I done to it? Well, I've discovered this website, which I've linked in the description, to this guy that has basically addressed all of the common issues that the 20 VR22 and VR2022s, VR2023s, etc. actually suffer from, all the way up to the VR2024. So basically this style of V2000 deck. And one of the things I did when I was repairing this before was I removed the large backup battery on the control board. And what I did, I didn't put anything back in its place. I thought, oh, it doesn't need the battery, it's fine. It actually turns out that the deck is using the battery as a kind of, almost it's a kind of capacitor. And if you don't have a battery on the Syscom board, they go haywire and they start doing all weird things like rewinding and not stopping and then pulling the tape off of the spool, which is exactly what this one was doing. So I put a 1000 microfarad 10 volt capacitor on the Syscon board, installed a new head drum, which I actually cover in the upcoming video, and I now have a picture of sorts. It's not perfect, but it's a picture. The next thing that I need to address is a back tension issue, so that's going to be the next thing we'll be taking a look at, because it doesn't seem to have any back tension, so the tape starts to crinkle and it isn't going over the heads properly, and also over the audio heads properly, so you're not getting sound. You're getting muffled sound, but you're not getting sound. And also the heads can't quite lock on to the tracks on the tape, which obviously this machine relies on being able to see those tracks so that the tracking will work, or the dynamic track following will work properly. Otherwise you can get sort of a flickery picture. But we have a picture, it's in colour, and we have sound. That is 100% better than this machine was when I took it out of storage last week. In other words, from under my desk. So, watch the video and see what you think. So I thought I'd put the deck in its service mode and see if I could work out what was going on with the back tension. This is the brake solenoid. So if that's in its sort of position that it's in at the moment, then the brake band or the brake shoe is making contact with the spools. So let's just power this on. Let's hit play. That's interesting. We have a picture which is steady, and then it cuts off like that. So let's just try that again. Now we have no sound. Do have a nice pause though. Let's stop. Play. We have a bit of sound now, but not perfect. So I'm going to put this back into its normal position, and there's a few other things that I can do. There might even be a few capacitors that I can replace, and we'll go from there really. There is actually a hidden capacitor somewhere on the head drum which can resolve problems if you replace it, can resolve issues with unsteady picture. But I think I've got to take the actual entire head assembly out to get to that, so we'll leave that for the moment.